Hello and welcome back, dear friends and subscribers. Tonight we are going to a journey far back in time into medieval Europe again, to discover some forgotten kingdoms of Europe, places that once ruled with pride, but have since faded into pages of history. Well, I'm gonna share quietly, in a very relaxing manner, their little stories, stats, and curious facts, and even quirky secrets that I discovered on the web. So settle in, let your mind drift, and let's begin. First, I'm gonna start with the forgotten kingdom of Galicia and Volhynia. Galicia and Volinia. Well, somewhere between modern-day Ukraine and Poland area, in this area here. So, Galicia and Volhynia. The years 1253 until 1349. Capital was Halich, later Lutsk. The language spoken, Old Ruthenian language. At the peak of its development, the population reached 2 million people. Currency, silver coins named Hryvnia. Some facts. The small kingdom served as a bridge between Catholic Europe and Mongols to the east, and was recognized by both the Pope and the Mongols rulers. Why is forgotten the reason? It was absorbed into Poland and Lithuania later, and the culture blended with surrounding Slavic states. So, Volhynia or Galicia and Volhynia, the kingdom. Let's take another example next, and the Duchy of Courland and Semigalia. Courland and Semigallia. Semigallia. This area. It was a small duchy between Latvia and Lithuania today. Years 1562 to 1795. Well, the capital was Mitau, Shelkava. The language was German, Latvian and Lithuanian. At peak, the population reached 300,000 people. The currency was the dollar. Facts: Courland and Semigallia was a tiny Baltic state that owned colonies in Tobago, in Caribbean and Gambia, Africa. So we can say it was an empire, right? Because held colonies around the globe. German ruling over Latvian and Lithuanian peasants. Only nobilities spoke German, and this was one way of differentiating social statuses between. The quirky fact is that the Duke's tropical colonies were managed from a freezing Baltic coast. Quite very quirky, right? But why is forgotten? Due to the fact that lost colonies very quickly and was absorbed into the bigger Russian Empire and after into the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Next is the Principality of Transylvania. So, Principality of Transylvania, which is now in modern-day Romania. Years 1570 and 1711. Capital was at Alba Iulia. The language spoken Romanian, Hungarian and German. So, this is alright. Big population, 1 million people. The currency was, they were used to the Hungarian forints and the ducats, Transylvanian ducats. The Transylvania Principality acted as a buffer state between Habsburgs and Ottomans and was usually tolerant with multiple Christian denominations. Well, often confused with Dracula's homeland took the Vlad III ruled Volhynia. Why forgotten? It was incorporated into Habsburg monarchy later, and now it's part of Romanian territory, and is one of the largest Romanian areas. Transylvania. Next, let's go to Italy. Well, Italy, and here we have the Kingdom of Sicily. No, Kingdom of Sardinia, sorry. Kingdom of Sardinia. So, yes, 1324 until 1861. Capital was Cagliari. Language spoken Italian, Catalan, and Sardinian dialect. At its peak, had a population of 1.5 million people. The currency was scudo, the Sardinian scudo. Facts: once was controlled by Aragon and Savoy before leading to the Italian unifications. It was a geographically strategic island in the Mediterranean, controlling major trade routes in the Mediterranean, especially between Iberian Peninsula and Italic Peninsula. The heraldic flag features a blindfolded Moorish hats and still debated today the meaning. Why is forgotten? It was overshadowed by the unification with Italy, now seen mainly as a region, but once was a thriving kingdom. So, West Madrid is next, Kingdom of Navarre. Navarre. Kingdom of Navarre. Between Spain and France, years 824 until 1620. Capital was Pamplona. The language spoken was Basque, Latin, and Spanish. At its peak, had a population of 500,000 people. The currency, Spanish coinage, and livre, French livre. Well, Navarre was a Basque stronghold, stranding the Pyrenees. The kingdom was a key player in the Christian-Muslim frontier, and some monarch claimed the title King of Jerusalem despite never ruling it. But why forgotten? Well, later was divided between France and Spain and absorbed into national histories. Good. So, next is Kingdom of Bohemia. Bohemia, somewhere this area. In modern-day Czech Republic, stats. Well, between years 1198 and 1918, capital was Prague, the city of Prague. Languages, Czech, German, and Latin. At its peak, population reached 4 million. The currency was the Prague Goshen. Facts. Well, the Kingdom of Bohemia was a major silver mining power in medieval Europe, and the oldest university in Central Europe was founded in its territory. A quirky fact, the Pilsner beer style is named after the city of Pilsen. Why is forgotten? Well, it was subsumed into Czechoslovakia after World War I. Good. Next, Principality of Wallachia. So, modern-day Romania. Years 1330 until 1859. Languages, Romanian, and Slavonic. The capital was at Târgoviște. At peak, its population reached 1 million, and the currency was the gross. It was a frontier state resisting Ottoman expansion into Europe. It was the homeland of the Vlad III the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler. Well, a quirky fact is that royal ceremonies included giant ceremonial axes. Why is forgotten? Well, merged with Moldavia and Transylvania and created Romania. So, next is Republic of Ragusa. Modern day Croatia. Ragusa. Between 1358 and 1808. Ragusa. Capital Dubrovnik, modern day Croatia. Languages Latin, Italian, and Croatian. At its peak, the population reached 50,000 people only. Currency, the ducat. It was a maritime rival to Venice and a major trade hub. They abolished slavery in 1416. Well, the fortifications were so strong that Napoleon preferred the blockade. Why it's forgotten? Well, the small Duchy was annexed by Napoleon and Austria and was overshadowed by Venice's reputation. Good. Next is Kingdom of Cyprus. Eastern Mediterranean. Years 1192 until 1489. Capital was Nicosia. Languages spoken French, Italian, and Greek. At its peaks, it has a population of 200,000 people. Currency was the bezant. Well, the kingdom was founded by Crusader after Richard the Lionheart's conquest in 1191. It became a trading stop between Europe and the Holy Land. Quirky facts: Lusignan kings of Cyprus also claimed the titles of kings of Jerusalem and king of Armenia. Took they ruled none of these lands. Why is forgotten? Well, it fell under Venetian and then Ottoman after control. But it's remembered mainly in Crusaders' history. Well, and so our journey comes to an end, and I traced, minding from my head the borders of lands that were once were mighty, but now are only whispers in the wind of forgotten kingdoms. I hope you enjoy these gentle echoes of the medieval Europe. You can return here anytime to wander through old maps and soft voices. Just only subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining